Have you ever licked ball sacks 3 times on Tuesday? Becca lacka dooka lacka bigga bagga who? Hey, what?
Check. Very good. Well, we're up and running.
All right, cool. All right, welcome to SuperHouse. Tonight, the freeze is coming. This is Ben Juan. I've got here with Andrew.
I'm ready. My body is ready. I'm fucking ready to do this. All of you losers are gonna die by my fucking comments tonight, baby.
Okay, and we got Wolfie.
Hi.
All right, so corrections department. You guys might be wondering, why am I referencing Mr. Freeze again? Well, here's the thing. Corrections department. I know I said in an earlier episode, there's probably not going to be a deep dive episode on the Batman and Robin script because the Batman and Robin script wasn't that different from the movie. I was wrong.
Wait, this whole episode is a fucking corrections department?
Yeah, this whole episode is kind of a corrections department. Okay, so full disclosure, I had never read the Batman and Robin script. I was just going off the fact that nobody had talked about it online. Like, I had read the previous scripts that I've gone over in this podcast because people have talked about, like, oh, the Tom Mankiewicz script. Oh, the earlier Sam Hamm drafts of the Batman. Oh, the Sam Hamm draft of Batman 2 that's completely different from Batman Returns. Those are awesome.
Real quick, did we actually get an intro for Wolfie?
Yeah, he just hey.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna find the time here. Okay,
Here I am.
All right, I'm sorry. Continue, man. Continue.
But like, I'd never heard much other than people just say like, yeah, like there's not much in here. That like, I think people were trying to hunt down if there's a darker version of Batman and Robin, and it doesn't.
I want to know
exist.
what is in Akiva Goldsman's original oeuvre.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people read this compared to the other ones I've gone over, and I didn't want to read it before we revisited the movie because I'd never seen the movie since 1997, the full thing. So I'm just like, do I want to read the script before I've even re-experienced the movie?
Right.
No.
Right.
But then I remembered while we were watching it, because you mentioned how Robin's suit kind of looks like Nightwing's. I was like, wait a minute, I remember something that I had read, and I looked it up, and I found the script online, and... All right, first tidbit. When Robin first comes out, Wolf, you weren't part of that episode, so this will be information for you. When Robin first comes out, Batman's original line is, nice suit, and today you are, and Robin says, Nightwing, Scourge of Darkest Evil. So,
What?
Originally,
With no K.
Heck?
this could have been Batman and Nightwing,
So, like-
not Batman and Robin.
And this is the first appearance of Robin in this series
In
of
the
films,
movie, not in... It's still a sequel to Batman and Robin.
Right?
Remember?
No,
Oh,
Batman
wait,
Forever.
Batman Forever is when
I
we
mean,
saw
sorry, this is still a
Robin.
sequel to
That
Batman
would have been
Forever.
cool.
Yes.
That could have been like 10 years later.
Yeah, it could have. Yeah, they could have worked that out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nightwing, and then have Tim Drake Robin come in, and everybody would have been
Potentially.
familiar with
That's
the Bat
true.
family,
That's
and we'd
true.
be talking a different story today.
Indeed. So...
You mean to tell me there's more than one Robin? God damn.
What if I told you there were
17 Robins.
Four Robins. Well,
He has a fucking
had to
veritable
consult.
kindergarten
If you-
full of Robins.
if you don't count like certain ones, the official ones are Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Damien.
All right, that's
You
good.
kinda
They didn't
count Stephanie
overclutter it, you know.
Yeah. And then there's
One
all-
somebody on Reddit made this joke saying that like Damien's the one Robin that we're pretty sure is never gonna have parents get their killed.
Yeah, that's true.
backstory.
Even if Talia dies, they always fucking bring her back anyway. She's got the fucking last bit.
What if they do that in Elseworlds though? Like fucking Bruce Wayne dies.
Well,
That'd
that's
be kind of cool.
There was a story. It's Batman number 666. Grant Morrison
shit.
did it.
Yeah.
It was
Of
a
course,
version-
Grant Morrison. Did that
Damian
shit.
Wayne as Batman. If Bruce Wayne,
I should know
was killed.
everything Grant Morrison does. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
So he was originally going to be called Nightwing, and so I was watching him just like, wait a minute, there probably is some stuff. So I read the script, and look, this is not going to be a life-changing, like, oh my god, here's what they shouldn't have cut, because we talked about that with all previous 3 Batman movies.
Batman Forever with the most.
Batman Forever.
changed.
Yeah, we were just like, holy shit, like this would have been the best of the 90s Batman movies if it had gone that way. But this is not that case. This is still very much in the campy 1960s style of it. But there's some cut scenes, and there was enough that it's worth going over. So,
Did he still
Here-
wear polar bear slippers?
you know what? Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah.
What's the best? I hadn't seen Batman Robin. What's the best Freeze one-liner? Most ridiculous. You can remember.
I don't know. I mainly remember Ice to See You.
I still
Ice to
see.
you.
Allow me to break the ice.
Yeah.
My name is Freeze. Learn it well. Where's the chilling sound of your doom?
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
Oh, and he literally, it's not a nice pun, but he literally says, "Today Gotham, tomorrow the world."
Yeah, I know.
That was such a iconic, villain
Top of
line.
his game.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah.
That was right after Jingle All the Way. No, it was probably a fair piece after.
I
was
loved
after
Jingle All the Way when I was a kid. Man.
End of Days. What was that other one?
That was terrible.
The Eraser. What's the one where he was a clone? The Sixth Day.
Sixth Day.
Oh yeah, fuck that too. He went through some terrible movies.
Yeah.
Man.
He was like, I can't do any worse with my life. I'll
Time
be a
to
politician.
nearly become president.
And yeah. Nearly.
It's a weird shift. We're
Get
flexible.
damn
Okay,
close
all right.
to being president of the United States.
All right, so some interesting stuff that happens. There's a scene in the movie where they're in the Batcave, and Bruce is going over the origin of Victor Freeze.
Wait, you don't. What about the slippers, bro?
Oh, yeah, you want to talk?
Just kidding.
How important is the
continue
slippers?
Continue as is. I'm sorry. Continue as
Change
is.
in this original script. Mr. Freeze wears the slippers the entire movie.
Oh wow!
That'd be
All
amazing.
right, awesome.
Except the ice slippers.
Ice slippers, don't call them polar bears.
These are very ice
Except
slippers.
also they not slip. They don't slip.
Do you remember the ice levels on Mario? I don't know. I got nothing. Continue, Ben.
All right, so there's a lot of self-referential humor in this. So in one case, when Dick hears about the origin of Mr. Freeze, he's like, "Let me get this straight. A brilliant citizen disfigured by a horrible accident reemerges as a psychotic supervillain bent on theft, revenge, and destruction. You see a pattern here?" So it's kind of referencing
Okay.
Two-Face, potentially Catwoman, and Batman Returns.
Take
and
that
everything.
Take that line out. People are gonna know that our movies suck.
Maybe that's what would happen.
That would make our
who slipped
movies
that in
connect
there?
more. We do not want that. Cut to Marvel.
Take Chris O'Donnell's stipend for the day. He's staying on studio.
Take off his Centrum Silver,
So
his prune juice.
Clasp his Robin nipples. Electrifying.
my mom has been listening to this, and she's like, "Chris O'Donnell wasn't 45 when he was filming, was he?"
Look, Linda, he was 45.
It's Hollywood.
He
It's
was
all
old
in
as
the
fuck.
lights or something.
The slippers are not in the script. I just found it.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was like,
So it was a good addition, actually, in the
Specifically,
later
do
drafts.
not put stupid slipper gag in movie. They lose the post.
Bob Kane was like, "If anything, please don't give Mr. Freeze slippers." And then Bob Kane died, and then they just put it in.
That 1996
Fuck you,
Microsoft
Bob.
Word, the fucking paperclip talking to you. Do not put the slippers in.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? Don't put in those stupid ass slippers.
So here's another sly reference. Freeze, during the scene where he has the slippers and you're introduced to the hideout and everything, he looks to see the guys in the parkas. Even though his henchmen are in parkas, but he says, "Everyone is always having a good time except me. Try as I might, I can find no pleasure. Perhaps my heart has truly turned to ice." So
you sound
heart of
exactly
ice.
Poetry.
like him.
That's straight up fucking Shakespeare right there.
My heart has truly turned to. It's a mix of. It's like a mix of
or
Dracula
not
and
to be.
Patrick Stewart is what my impression is.
I have a heart of ice.
I'm
Remember
just
that?
like, yeah.
Remember that?
Wait, does he actually say that?
No, I don't know.
Oh, but he does. In
That
the,
would be
I'm just perhaps my heart has truly turned to ice. I'm just like, okay, now you're just reminding everyone of the better version of Mr. Freeze.
They would never do that.
Okay, so here's another fun scene.
Nora.
There's a different version of how they get introduced to Barbara Wilson. Kind of. I mean, she still shows up in front of Wayne Manor, but here's a different way to do it. So it's a new scene where Robin is fighting Mr. Freeze and his cronies. Robin delivers his fast set of spinning kicks. He's like kicking ass and everything. Batman swings in. He drops Freeze's chest, hammers a series of punches in his tunic, rendering unconscious. Batman looks up at Robin and says, "We'll be starting again now. Pause virtual reality simulation."
Okay.
And then the whole thing
Wow.
pauses, and it reveals that they're wearing VR goggles.
It's the box.
It's VR.
Oh, that'd actually be a cool callback. If he stole Nigma's box to use to train
why
Robin.
wouldn't they not? If they have a VR in this, what they just did it.
No, he's just wearing VR. He's wearing
Why not
VR.
make it you're saying it's not the box?
What box?
The box from Batman Forever.
Yeah, Batman Forever was Riddler creating basically the future 3D TV and sucking up people's brainwaves from it.
The box,
Dude, it's
and
like
it
a
would've been like
callback
some Wayne Tech or something.
Yeah.
It is. It
Oh,
is.
right,
It's almost like Zuckerberg. They called it back in the day. The
Yeah.
Bachelors did it, bro.
So Batman's in there like fighting people off with this.
Well, he
VR
wasn't in
goggles.
it. It was just.
It's like the holodeck.
It was just his way to do the. Yeah, he's kind of like the holodeck type of thing. And because earlier in the movie, he tells Dick Grayson like, "Hey, you made a mistake. You're going to spend like 10 hours training in the simulator.
Right.
This is the actual simulator." And so they have an argument. Dick's like, I got the diamond. What's your problem? Bruce is like, you left your back wide open. Freeze could have killed you. So it's like, it's the same back and forth of like.
So they've already
Bruce.
met Freeze at this point.
Yeah, this is after the big
Gotcha.
action sequence.
I got you.
I'm just covering the deleted.
Yeah, I
shit.
got you.
Down.
Wow.
Get down.
Get down.
We've got the bat. No, that's terrible.
Get to the ice chopper.
He should have said that.
Something like
Get
that.
to the
right?
ice chopper now.
He should have had a fucking dude, Mr. Freeze helicopter. That would be so cool as a toy.
Ice
Actually,
Yes, ice copter.
Somehow the heat of the thing doesn't cause it to melt. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Got a negative
Barbara
fusion.
Cold
Wilson.
fusion, cold fusion,
fusion
ice chopper, bro.
reactor.
So as a recap, Batgirl in this movie is not Barbara Gordon, as in canon. It's
What
Barbara
the
Wilson,
fuck?
who was the niece of Alfred.
Right.
But in the script, she wasn't the niece. She just called him Uncle Alfred. And Alfred
Okay.
reveals Barbara isn't really my niece. She's Joanna Clark's daughter. Now, who's Joanna Clark? Joanna Clark is actually Alfred's old... This is where it gets really fucking weird. She's Alfred's ex-girlfriend.
But definitely not related to the commissioner or whatever.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So basically, Alfred was in love with this girl named Joanna Clark. He then left for Gotham. Joanna Clark met some guy named Wilson, married him, and Barbara is the daughter of that. So Barbara Wilson isn't his niece. She's actually the daughter of his long lost love.
Okay, his Beaumont.
It'd be like that. But I'm like, like I like it as the niece because otherwise this gets into very weird territory if this is the daughter of like the woman you were in love with. So
This is weird, but all right, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's creative license.
Why
Yeah.
not it be the daughter of the commissioner instead?
yeah. I'm like,
Hey,
Why
man,
not?
why do you got to be asking questions like that, bro?
The whoever the writers or something, they have the comic like right on the desk. Like, I'm a crackhead. Like, and then it's like, we gotta get the script in like 2 weeks.
Look,
done.
dude, whatever Akiva does, it's gold. All right.
Yeah. Just quit throwing that fucking comic book at me. Get it out of here. I don't give a shit.
Fuck canon. It's 1996.
Wilson's just a better, stronger name.
than Gordon.
Look on the new AOL.
Well, I mean, I brought this up in the episode, but I think it's because of the fact that you didn't really get to know who the fuck Mr. Gordon was in
Yeah.
these movies. That industry
That's true.
giving
Yeah.
him like some emotional connection to his daughter. Oh, it's his daughter. It's just like I don't give a fuck about Commissioner Gordon anyway. Why do I care about his daughter?
But here's the voice of every comic book fan. But still, though.
Yeah, I know.
We didn't ask you to make
You
him
know?
a portly, dumbfounded.
I'm not saying I would have made the same decision. I'm just saying it does kind of make. I
They're trying to
understand
make
why they
up
made.
for.
I get it. I'm just
Mistakes they've
kind of
already
just
made.
fucking around.
Let's see. Okay, so
Obviously.
there is one scene where, if you remember, there's that picture of Poison Ivy at the airport, and then there's Bane who's like in a muffler trying to disguise the fact that he's in the trench coat, but you can still see his mask.
I love that. That's the best gag in the movie, probably, dude.
A muffler?
It's this visual gag, a scarf.
Yeah. So there's
I
in the script
Bane
we
is in
actually-
like a fucking Dick Tracy looking like Ninja Turtles trench coat.
right.
And,
He's in a
and
fedora at one
they're
point.
like trying to be incognito in this picture. It's such a great visual gag, actually. That's Schumacher's greatest contribution, actually, I think.
Let's see. There is. Yeah, so I'm bringing that up because there was actually a scene written out of, how they arrived in Gotham and then took over that limo. Because remember, we just suddenly cut to Gotham City. Suddenly, Bane is driving Poison Ivy around. How did that
Right.
happen? Like, how'd they get there?
Right.
Where the fuck did the car come from?
Right.
So it's explained. They show up. Bane is, in the cargo. He breaks out of the cargo. Then Poison Ivy uses her, powers and stuff on the businessman dude, and then kills him. And
Right.
then they just take over his limo. So it's to fill in that gap. All right. Let's see. There's like
Makes sense.
there's like an additional scene of Barbara Wilson breaking out to get the motorcycle, but we hate that subplot anyway. So I'm just gonna skip over that.
Do you agree with me, though?
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's a stupid way to bring in that character.
Yeah.
It's like find ways that actually fit in with the rest of the story. It'd be better if she was like an actual med student type of thing,
yeah.
and she was trying to take care of Alfred.
Too much of a side quest kind of thing that's really not
It had nothing to do-
interesting at all.
And it looked expensive as fuck. And when you were
Yeah,
watching it, I'm just like,
yeah.
why do we need the sequence? Like, it's just
Yeah.
a lot of wasted money. We do see Mr. Freeze trying to work on a cure for Nora during this, so that's
Okay.
kind of cool because we never
That's
really
cool.
see him get to work. Because at the
true.
end, Batman's like, I'm taking you to Arkham so you can work on the cure. We never really saw him.
Got to work. I've got the chemicals and the make the beakers. I do the worst Arnold.
There's a small...
I can't do Arnold, bro.
There's a small reference. I don't think any of us can.
I can
but
do
we're
a
so-
nice German boy named Hans.
Hans. 9! Ivy calls him Captain Cold at one point, so that's kind of a...
Captain Cold, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
interesting reference. In
Wow.
here.
A different guy. I keep telling you.
It's not the
Don't-
same man.
I get the joke, but it's not this. I'm not that guy.
You call the Central City.
It's not you, it's me.
I'm not.
Let's see. There's an additional scene, again, another scene of the fucking motorcycle thing, but of Barbara trying to pay off Dick for the motorcycle that she stole. Because remember, she stole Bruce Wayne's motorcycle to do the
And
race.
she crashed it?
Yeah, it falls over the cliff and everything.
Oh,
and
she's
then
trying
he
to pay
catches
it back?
Yeah, she's trying to pay it back. And Dick's
Even that
like,
just sounds like so laborious.
Yeah.
As far as like storytelling is concerned.
All right, now we go into good
Laborious
shit.
storytelling. Today on laborious storytelling,
Batman and Robin edition.
I'm gonna read the
So-
entire works of Chaucer.
In the original English.
The old English. All right, now we get into the good shit. So this is about the Alfred dying subplot.
It's all good shit, Ben.
Okay. He doesn't just say, because there's a scene where Dick Grayson comes down and, oh yeah, because Barbara tells him, like, hey, like, Alfred's sick, you just didn't notice. And then Bruce comes in and he's like, he's not sick, he's dying.
That was pretty much the same.
What did happen?
Right?
Well, yeah, no, I'm describing the scene.
Okay.
Because Wolfie wasn't here for the
No
was
Oh,
it?
yeah.
He says,
I'm getting it
he's,
fresh.
he's dying and I can't deal with it.
Bruce says that.
Bruce says that. He
Okay,
says,
gotcha.
Alfred, he'd never say anything, but I can tell until you came along. Alfred was the only family I ever had. Without him, I don't know how I would have survived. He saved my life, and I've never told him. So remember when we were watching it, and he says to Alfred, I love you, old man.
Yeah.
And I was like, this would have been so much better if we set up the fact that he's never been able to say that.
That's true.
It was actually set up.
Yeah.
This is the scene where
Oh,
it sets
really?
it up. Yeah.
Bruce is just walking around Wayne Manor wearing just the cape and cowl and gloves and like punching the wall. I can't take it. I can't take Alfred being sick.
I'm a 90s edgelord.
We get that, Bruce. We're all having a hard time with it. Would you please put on some pants? But I can't.
Oh, my God.
I don't think George Clooney
Stop
was ready
slamming
to
doors. Just throwing tantrums. Anyway, that's the movie I see.
Wow. Oh,
But
man.
he brings up, like, maybe for the first time in my life, I'm really scared when it comes to Alfred.
Okay.
So it does.
Yeah.
It's him exposing
Good.
that vulnerability that pays off later on in the scene where he actually tells him how how grateful he is for having Alfred around to raise him, and everything. So that's
Wolfie.
one of the better things.
In this Batman and Robin, you probably haven't seen it since 97 either, right?
Probably not since the first time, yeah.
Dude, the way they write Batman is actually sort of decent because every time he pretty much knows everything before everybody else. Like he knows about
Yeah.
Alfred even though he's been hiding it as best as he can. Like, it's just like he's the smartest guy in the room every time. And like it's surprising how well that part is written in the story. And the whole Alfred's dying subplot is fucking really solid actually.
Yeah.
I gotta watch it again.
Yeah.
The characterization of as I said, like for something that gets maligned is like this is the worst representation of Batman. And I'm like, it's actually like a pretty legit version of the character.
We
You're
have
just too
Alfred,
fucking stupid to recognize that, buddy. You throw the fucking VHS at him at the store.
you need to do some fucking
You
studying,
just lost
all right?
a customer, Blockbuster, and then you go to Blockbuster up the way to rent it.
Where are you in the fucking that one place in
the past,
Alaska?
I'm like,
bro?
on when Batman and Robin came out on VHS.
Oh, I
Oh, you're
got
talking
you.
about back then, okay.
It'll make sense when
You didn't say that part, man. So
Context.
Sorry, sometimes I start sentences not allowed and then finish them allowed.
I see.
You're welcome.
That's gonna be great for the podcast, man.
Laundry detergent.
But okay, so this whole subplot of not being able to tell Alfred comes back later on when there's a scene where Bruce says not all heroes wear masks.
Yes,
Where I'm just like, wait a minute, is that where not all heroes wear capes come from?
it seems like it
It's-
could have come from then.
Yeah,
There.
it was
Who's
funny.
he talking to?
He's talking to Alfred.
And then Alfred's like, I see, Bruce, but what you're saying is that all masks wear heroes.
That's not what he says in the script.
That's
It was funny in my head. Fuck you guys.
moving on.
Yeah, Bruce says, Alfred, if I've never told you, I just want to say, and then Alfred's like, yes, but then like Bruce isn't able to say it. So we actually see an attempt on Bruce's part to say it because Bruce is bringing up the fact that like, hey, like I know that you're sick and you're dying, and Alfred's like, it's not proper for a gentleman to bring up these things. And Bruce is like, are you happy with your life? I'm just recapping the scene. Are you happy with your life because you've just been serving here?
It could have been better. Not bad.
I mean, 6 out of 10.
Cleaning sucks. But I'm a good cook. Thanks me.
I didn't like changing your diaper, sir.
Thanks, me.
Arkham Asylum, it says that there are mannequins displaying familiar costumes. One of them is Riddler's, one of them is Freeze's, one of them is also the Joker's.
Okay.
Now that is surprising because I'm just like, the Joker never got caught. He got killed. So like, when the hell did he wind up in Arkham Asylum?
What did they say that? Oh, they had like these characters in there?
In the script, it says the Joker's costume is in Arkham Asylum.
You know, when I was a kid, that first Batman, when he died, I still found that to be pretty ambiguous because of like the laugh toy. Or whatever.
That's true. Yeah.
I know. I did
and
too.
I was just like, wait a minute. I
did
know
too.
he just fell off of a building.
could never figure it out, bro.
But I could see, you know.
No, I agree. I was the same
you know,
way.
I
Yes,
just like seemed like they're gonna bring him back for sure.
Yeah, it is semi-ambiguous. It is.
Yeah. Let's see. At one point, Freeze gets his suit back because he breaks out of Arkham. He gets his suit back. The cops fire at him, and the bullets bounce off the armor of ice. And Freeze is
severely over-designed.
suit. and Freeze is like, Superman, eat your heart out. So again, another reference to the wider DCU. Again, like it's interesting because again, it's a case of like, like everyone thinks it's corny comic book shit, but this is kind of one of the first instances of references to the wider universe in a DC movie.
Yeah, one of his first lines is referencing Superman or Metropolis or something in this movie.
Yeah, I'd give anything to see Joel Schumacher's Justice League. Where's his cut? dig deeper.
It's there somewhere.
I want to see that script.
Butt shot. Here's an interesting deleted scene. So
Cut
how about
to
we
a
change the
nice,
name to
graceful shot of Gal Gadot. Back to butt shot.
Brian De Palma, eat your
Definitely
heart
Momoa's
out.
butt shot.
Definitely, yeah.
Who directed Jade?
So
Anyway.
I had always heard this rumor.
Jade. Oh my God. Are you talking about the fucking 90s nearly X-rated show?
Yeah,
movie?
it was a movie. Yeah,
Oh my God. I haven't
that
thought
guy
about that
should
in a
have
long
directed
time.
a Batman movie.
I was like, I never saw it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Caruso, it's the guy's name, something Caruso.
David Caruso,
Yeah.
CSI Miami.
Who was in it?
David Caruso and Chaz Palminteri.
There was a
And
blonde woman though, right?
that chick from that lady from Dogma,
Oh.
Linda Fiorentino.
Fiorentino's in it?
Oh, Linda Fiorentino.
I am a walking IMDb.
She was a major crush that I had back in the
Yeah?
day.
Oh, yeah?
Fiorentino.
Apparently she's a bitch.
Oh, is she really?
Is that why she's not in movies anymore?
That's
'Cause-
what Kevin Smith said on
really?
like after
Oh,
we started
shit. I
Dogma.
kinda
He's
trust
she was so
Kevin Smith.
difficult.
Yeah.
He's only said that about two people, Bruce Willis and Linda Fiorentino.
I believe that about Bruce Willis too.
Dude, yeah. Yeah, that's a whole other tangent. Anyway. Hey everybody, it's Andrew. I just wanted to tell you about our friend Israel's retro gaming shop, RetroCo. If you go to retro-ko.com, you'll be able to see all of his retro gaming goodies. If you wanted to get that Sega Saturn hidden gem from back in the day, or if you wanted to get the Famicom disk system that you never got as a kid, or any other type of retro game that you were into, or import game, please go to retroco.com. That's retro-ko.com. And if you use the SuperHouse code Johnson's Ballsack, you'll be able to get a little bit of a discount at checkout. So please, once again, if you could just go to retroco.com. You can also go to facebook.com/retroco with no hyphen. That's RETROKO. You'll be able to find him on Facebook as well. If you were looking for that PlayStation import game that you never got, if you were looking for that Mega Drive game that you never got, or any other kind of retro game, any import game, it could even be European, Israel also curates bundles at RetroCo, and he'll curate that bundle just for you. So please, go check him out. If you put in the code Johnson's Ballsack at checkout, you'll receive a SuperHouse discount. We already interrupted Ben like 1,000 times. Keep going, Ben.
Sorry.
We need to pad this thing out anyway because it's just basically just a bunch of deleted scenes. It's not really like here's a deleted subplot that would have changed everything. I'm
This
just like,
podcast needs comedy.
Yeah.
And he's comedy, motherfucker. Sorry.
Full hot injection right now.
Hot injection.
Comedy injection.
Is that what you call sex, bro?
Well, they do always end up laughing. I don't
God.
get it.
All right.
Moving on.
Okay.
We're ready for you,
so-
man. I'm sorry.
I always heard rumors that Julie Madison was going to get stabbed to death by poison ivy in this movie. Now I was
Overly
like,
dark.
I'm like, what the hell would that have been? So
Right.
there's been no evidence of that. I think it's just a rumor. So the real way that so Julie Madison is Bruce Wayne's girlfriend in this, which stays through the comics because she was the first girlfriend that he had in 1939.
By the way, it's that woman.
Elle
It's a weird-
McPherson.
I know it's a weird comment, but did he actually date her in real life?
George
Think he
Clooney.
got her
Yeah.
the job?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, she just looks like somebody that Clooney would date.
probably, yeah.
You know, I know he's married
Maybe
now, but
picked her out.
it just seems like it's just such a fucking natural fit.
I mean, they did ask. I got to verify that this isn't just an IMDb trivia thing that anyone could have written, but they did ask like a bunch of the cast. I'm like, what would you take home from the set? And like they would talk about like, oh, the costumes, the Batmobile. George Clooney said, "I'll take Elle McPherson."
Well,
Nice.
can you blame him?
No, I can't blame him. But okay, so they deleted a scene where Pamela shows up at the party, right? And she sort of seduces Commissioner Gordon about like, where's the bat signal from and everything. Bruce Wayne's there.
Okay.
And asked about bat signal. Bruce Wayne sort of feels the pheromone stuff, and he actually goes to Pamela and starts like trying to ask her out and everything. And Julie sees this, and she's like, "Really? You're trying to like ask this girl out? We were talking about marriage the other day. What the fuck's wrong with you?"
Right.
And everything. And then
Right.
she breaks up with him, and that's actually the scene that tips Bruce off. Oh, Pamela Isley and Poison Ivy are the same person.
Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn.
Cut to cold shower.
Simpsons did it.
It's Einhorn. So that explains the
Fucking
that
Ace Ventura, bro. Love it. Loving
So
these
good.
fucking.
When's Jim
90s
Carrey going to play
creations.
Batman already? Miss Jim Carrey.
oh, just,
He needs to come back and play.
He can
Commissioner
obviously
Gordon.
play a fucking
He
very
should do. They
serious
should do
role
a
too.
one-man Jim Carrey Batman, directed by Jim Carrey.
probably. I could see him play Riddler now, honestly, like old Riddler.
Honestly, it would be amazing. Just play him like very serious now.
If we could get,
It'd be incredible.
Yeah.
if Val gets his voice back, you know how cool that would be if you just did like old Bruce Wayne from Batman Forever versus old Enigma in just like a scene or something.
Maybe
Yeah.
a scene, but a whole movie.
No,
would be
it's the
kinda
scene.
You'd have
sad.
to have
Just the
Val
scene, just the
Kilmer,
scene, yeah.
no exercise, in the bat suit, interrogating the Riddler.
Dude, he can't.
No, it'd be as Bruce.
He can't talk right now.
He
Not
can't, but I don't know if
talk that
he'll.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
What
I don't
happened?
know if-
He got
Yeah.
throat
yeah, throat cancer.
sick.
yeah. He had
So he sounds like he's got like a voice box.
He's in Jay and Silent Bob reboot where he's like Silent Bob, apparently.
Oh, really?
He's Blunt Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So he probably doesn't have any lines. I don't know
They
about
got
Top Gun
fucking
2.
Thor in there and everybody.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Chris, Kevin Smith is that kind of.
Well,
cool?
he said he's got 3 Batman in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got Val Kilmer. He's got
Kevin Conroy, I think.
He might have Kevin Conroy. I don't know because
I hope Kevin Conroy swears.
Kevin Conroy was in Yoga Hosers.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
really?
He's got Ben Affleck in it.
Yeah, amazingly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently they made up or whatever.
What happened?
Between them,
Yeah.
basically,
Jennifer Garner.
Kevin Smith is very public about everything, and that's just how he is.
Yeah.
And this is just rumor. I don't know, but more than likely this is the case. Ben Affleck just didn't appreciate that after a certain point, which I see both sides.
Keep your name out my mouth,
It's
son.
just like, dude, this is our
It's like
our
some
private
East
lives,
Coast,
dude.
West Coast beef.
Kevin Smith said he's seen Ben Affleck's dick like at a party. They got naked or something. Like,
I don't remember hearing that.
yeah, dude.
Wow.
I listen to a lot of Kevin
I'm
Smith
glad
podcasts.
they made up.
Yeah, I am. Me too. Let's see. Okay, so Bruce tries to ask Pamela Isley out, but it's only because Pamela's using the pheromone stuff.
Okay.
She was using it on Gordon. I think Bruce caught a whiff of it.
Was her introduction the same? She just sprouts out of the ground.
Yes, it's all the same shit.
Yeah. Okay.
But she obviously turns Bruce down because she's not interested. She's trying to make it to the Gotham City Police headquarters to steal the
Okay.
bat signal. But Bruce,
She wants the bat signal.
yeah, remember she wants the bat signal. Bane steals the bat signal so that they can turn it into the Robin signal and kill Robin.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. It's
So
sorry.
this movie's memorable from 2 weeks ago.
I was too busy laughing the whole time. Yeah, I don't know. Schumacher got me.
But yeah, she turns Bruce down and everything, but that's why he remembers it. So
The Robin signal. God, I forgot about that entirely.
we saw this.
He's like,
two
it's
weeks
about
ago.
time.
Yeah.
I've been waiting so long.
I will come straight to it right
Batman.
now.
Look, they're not asking for you. They're asking for me.
She loves me, Bruce.
Thwip.
That is a literal line in this.
Listen, Dick.
She wants to kill you, dick.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah,
Robin,
yeah.
why on earth would anybody make a Robin signal? Get back.
There's a scene in Titans. Do you remember this where Starfire's character, I don't know, it's something similar where she's just like dick, and then he's like real original.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Nice.
First season was solid, bro. It felt like a series of one-shots almost.
It did.
But it was okay.
Season 2 is more in line with what I would expect from a live-action Titans show.
It's like an
though.
R-rated CW.
Once you go through it, yeah, pretty
yeah.
much. We'll see what they do with but Deathstroke. Just off tangent. Isai Morales is amazing as Deathstroke. Already.
he?
He's
Wait,
in like
is
2
he?
scenes so far, and I already buy it
He's
way
the shit.
more.
Simon Morales is Deathstroke? That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, because I liked Manu Bennett, but in Arrow, the Arrow version of Deathstroke, but like there's so many differences, and he's like an Australian version,
Yeah, that's
and everything. So like it's
Yeah.
a little off, and then they made a lot of differences. Magniello had like 1 scene in Justice League, and that was it. So like he didn't really get
He
to do
would have
justice.
killed it, bro.
He probably
so
would've, yeah.
into it too.
Yeah.
Did you see the for some reason? Apparently, this is real. Some like fitness model or something said like, "I don't play D&D" or something, and then it was a cut to a picture of Manganiello on the cover of like Fitness magazine,
Yes.
ripped to shreds, and he was like, "I play D&D."
Owned.
And then the caption was, "I'd like to report a murder."
All right, one interesting thing that Akiva Goldsman adds in this that's not in the movie, but you know how like Bruce sees these weird like flashbacks throughout of him and Alfred, Wayne Manor, and everything.
yeah.
We would have seen one where, quote, a younger Alfred stands with an adolescent Bruce working together over the original Batsuit prototype.
I would love to have more scenes like that of
I
like
would too,
Alfred
yeah.
being the father.
Yeah.
Like you only see him as like Alfred kind of just, he's there, he says shit, especially in The Dark Knight and all, the Nolan trilogy, but to have more scenes of him as young Bruce, there's probably a shitload of this in the comics.
There's a shitload of this in Gotham, yeah.
In Gotham. Yeah, maybe I should watch Gotham actually, but yeah, more
5
of that.
whole seasons of this shit.
Yeah.
But like what's interesting to me is that it ties into Batman Forever because if you notice Batman Forever, they established he saw the bat and knew to use the bat to be his disguise and strike fear and his revenge and everything from when he first fell into it when he was like 12.
Yeah.
So he's been having the idea of being Batman ever since he was a teenager in this version.
Ruminating.
Yeah, it's been ruminating, as opposed to the usual version where like he goes around, he trains, he wants to fight, but he feels like he lost the edge. He doesn't know what the edge is, and then the bat flies through the window.
Oh, right.
Schumacher and Snyder in the Batman vs Superman movie, they did the same shit. Whereas like it's right after the death of the parents where he falls into the cave, and that's when he sees the bat, and that's when he's like, I'm going to use that as my symbol.
Wait, so just to clarify, what's generally the comic book canon version is? When does it show up exactly?
The bat shows up after he's already done with training.
After
and he wants
training.
It's basically like you
Imagine
saw.
if it was a rat. Fell
Rat
and went
man?
to the basement.
Have you seen?
Or-
There's
or a
like a fan
possum.
comic of like, it's the same thing where he's like, that's it. After he sees the bat crash through the window, and then it cuts to broken glass man.
Oh my god.
Let's just stop that.
So, yeah. So the
vermin
usual
in his
canon
tracks.
is like what you see in Batman Begins and Mask of the Phantasm, where like he's already been through training. It's just, he wants to fight crime. He's back in Gotham already, but he's like, I there's something missing. I don't know what it is, and then the bat flies through. In this version,
Can't just be vigilante man my whole life.
yeah,
It's fucking boring.
they combine. Yeah. So what Schumacher did, which was kind of cool, was he combined the idea from Dark Knight Returns of Bruce falling into the cave when he was young with the bat flying in the window. So it's all one incident.
Okay.
And he made it an incident that's tied into Bruce's guilt over feeling guilty over killing his parents and things like that. So that was cool. Efficiency. If it were in the fucking movie, but they cut it.
As efficient as Sub-Zero? No.
No.
Most efficient storytelling I've ever seen in my life.
Bing bang boom.
Yeah.
1 hour.
The 3-act
In
structure.
and out.
Any of those animated ones. Let's see. So he, so this is a scene where he goes to the Batcave, and this is actually the original introduction to digital Alfred Remember, there's digital Alfred who shows up in the Batcave
Oh yes.
and makes the
Like
suit
the
for
Emperor?
Barbara.
Yes.
So he asks digital Alfred. His
It's
digital
like
Alfred.
Max Headroom of Alfred.
Basically, yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. And asks about the background on Pamela Isley. So it is another thing of him being a detective work, and he matches the photo of Ivy to Pamela and realizes they're the same person.
What if you could change
just
Siri
different
to a
makeup.
British dude and rename him Alfred? That would be
I would
something.
love
That'd be
that, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I would love that, yeah.
Alfred, pull up my Xvideos profile.
Right
Alfred,
away, so
order me a pizza.
I'm in the mood for BBW.
FFM. You know that one?
I want to see a weird orgy video.
it's for
that
research for
seems
Poison
real.
Ivy.
I want to see
Alfred, pull up amateur
glory holes.
or glory. You know what's the truth, people.
Alfred, pull up festival sluts.
There is a reference in Titan Season 2 that Jason Todd uses the Bat computer for that.
He's
porn?
a little perv.
For what?
For porn?
Yeah, that's what it's implied. I forgot the actual line.
I mean, bro,
I
I mean,
wouldn't
why
put
not? I
past
mean, look
Jason
at
Todd.
it's
He was into all kinds of fucking
he's jerking it off
bad
in the
shit.
Batcave.
CD shit. Alfred, put that on my shopping list.
Alfred, let's go shopping. Let's see. So
This
Robin
needs to happen, by the way. Get on it, Siri.
with the which part?
Fucking Alfred being Siri.
Oh, Alfred being
Yeah.
Siri. I thought you were talking
least
about
for
a
Batman
comic on
Day.
the porn habits of Bruce Wayne.
You know, you could say, "Hey, pewter" to Siri right now
Pewter?
Really?
from Lego Batman.
Oh.
Then it calls you
Pewter.
Master Wayne or something. Yeah,
Really?
you say, "Hey, pewter."
That's pretty close to your dream.
It's close, but it's just one
Close.
line.
It's not the same
Yeah.
thing. What about Jarvis?
Nah, I don't know about that.
Fuck Marvel.
Called my GPS driver.
Just kidding.
Back when I
DC,
had those
baby.
GPS.
This is a DC podcast.
Until the next Marvel movie. Then
Pretty
it will be a
much.
Marvel thing.
Pretty much.
Let's see.
Black Panther 2 Kings
Hopefully, yeah.
versus Namor.
Black Panther 2K by
EA Sports.
EA Sports.
What's next, Ben? I'm ready. My body is ready.
Are you sure?
This Merlot-filled body is fucking ready
Merlot.
for the fucking Batman knowledge you are about to pour down my goddamn gullet.
I don't know if it's that cool, but okay, let's see what we got.
Gullets and gizzards.
So there's a different scene of... Okay, so this is the scene where Robin answers the Robin signal.
Okay.
Poison Ivy kisses him, and he's got the rubber lips.
Okay.
So she basically turns on him already and is just like, I loathe you and your animal superiority. The lines are stupid. I'm not going to go that much into it. But
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Batman shows up from the shadows and he's like, I'm not saying I told you so. And that's his entrance, as opposed to the movie that I completely forgot actually how he does it, but it's not like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Get out of here, Batman. I was going to score.
It's kind of like
You
that.
absolutely were not going to score.
She is totally playing you.
You were going to
Robin.
die.
Or
Robin,
whatever
I
your name
told you.
is.
Let's see.
Tim,
trying to
I
tell
mean,
you.
Dick.
Dick, Tim, Jason, Damon,
Whatever your name is. Get over here.
whatever your name is. There's a blooper of Marlon Brando fucking up the Kal-El name. He calls him like Elon or something. He's like, you.
This is real? This is real?
Yeah, it's real. I've seen it where he's like, you have great power, Elon. Kal-El, whatever your name is.
Do you have a
Elon.
fucking, what's his name?
gotta think
Marlon
of it.
Brando.
Do you have a Marlon Brando impression?
Brando, he talks like...
It's gotta be Jor-El Marlon Brando. It can't be Vito Corleone.
I don't remember.
No. Yeah, but
It's the only one I know. No, we'll get it.
Elon, whatever your name is. I
I gotta
can't
warm
do
up to it. We'll get back to it.
All right.
Come back to that one.
Okay, so what I was talking about with the 66 references, Batgirl, it says, quote, to the old 60s Batman theme, she says, Batgirl, 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 as she's on the motorcycle. It literally has that in here. I
Okay.
shit you not.
Okay.
I was amazed. I was just like, I was kind of like, that's way too much, but also like, if you need to be hit over the head about what kind of Batman this is, that solidifies it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Let's see.
Batgirl.
There's an undercurrent of Robin mentoring Batgirl in the final.
Trying to get
sequence.
up in them shorts.
Schwartz.
Maybe it is, yeah.
Trying to get
Use
up in
the
them
shorts.
draws.
Draws.
So at one point, Batgirl's like, "This is easy."
Pantalones.
She's like, "This is easy," while fighting the thugs. And Robin's like, "Crime fighters rule number 1: never say that." And
Okay.
why and everything. And then I think there's a number 2 rule. I forgot. Let's see. But that's pretty much that's pretty much the gist of it with those two. And then at one point, Batman, there's an implication of him going slightly back to his old ways, because at one point he says he doesn't go for the utility belt. he says, let's do this the old-fashioned way. And then it says he begins wailing on the Iceman
gun.
using his hands and fists, flying back fists, spinning roundhouse kicks. So he just decides to beat the shit out of them rather than use any gadgets.
Okay.
That's kind of cool.
And then
I
his
thought.
pants
Okay.
fall down.
Because his belt's off.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't take the battering
Dude,
off.
you are so obsessed with this pantsless Batman, man.
Yeah. Well, you're not?
Okay, I am.
Yes.
I am.
I myself am not.
All I need is the pointy ears.
Just wear the mask, okay?
Oh, yeah. Well, we missed the episode where I talked about that.
Call back.
Shoot, in the dark again.
He fucked a girl wearing the Batman mask.
No way.
Let me rephrase that. He
Made
had
love
sex
to.
with a girl wearing the Batman mask.
Made
She
compassionate
fucked
and
him.
respectful love to. Well, in costume
Too
during
sweaty.
role play.
All right, anyway.
Hi, Linda.
Just going to love this. Batgirl, at one point when she's hitting... Guy, again, if you didn't know that this was 66 style Batman, they hit you over the fucking head over it because Batgirl literally says pow, wham, kazow, and Robin's like, what the hell are you doing? And Batgirl's like, I don't know, it just feels right. So again, it's like, it's the same shit.
You fucking
Honestly,
asshole.
to me, that kind of fits.
It fits. Yeah, it fits. It's one of those where I'm just like, it borders on too much, but to the point where I'm just like, yeah, but this whole movie is too much.
This whole movie's just like that, dude. It's
Yeah, so I'm
fine.
just like, it works.
Yeah, it's-
Another reference. At one point, Batman's at the computer to like reprogram the whole ice cannon thing, and he's like, "Whoever thought Aunt Harriet's typing lessons would lead to this?"
Who the fuck is Aunt Harriet? Secret.
She's from the '66 show.
only in that show, though, right?
Only
Created for
in the
that show.
Yeah, because in the
Nice.
comics she wasn't around. It was Aunt
Yeah.
Agatha.
Joel
and,
Schumacher's
one-
like, bring me more cocaine.
bring me more of the '66 version.
So Kevin
The
Smith
movie's
is-
not going to finish itself.
Kevin Smith was on the set for this movie, and he apparently talked to Schumacher on the set and said something about they were in the Batcave, and he said something about so is there going to be a dinosaur? The dinosaur's going to be here or something? And then Schumacher said, "What dinosaur?" And then he was like, "Oh, okay."
Like the big dinosaur in the background.
Yeah.
You know what? It actually would have
Yeah.
worked because remember in the
Yeah.
beginning they're in a museum. There's a huge dinosaur and they like slide down the tail with like a
Yeah.
skateboard.
That's true, but that was not in the Batcave, though, right?
They should have
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should have been.
missed opportunity.
There's, but
It would have fit right in.
it's
Missed
in Kevin
opportunity.
Smith's one of his talks. I don't know.
Damn.
Well, there still has yet to be a Batcave. We talked about this in the Bachelor interview. There still has yet to be a live action Batcave with the giant penny, the giant Joker card, and the
Yeah.
T-Rex. I want to see that.
Who?
Matt Reeves, give it to us.
Where did the T-Rex come from?
It came from some
robot?
Batman and Robin were fighting on like Dinosaur Island or something, and the T-Rex is like a robot.
That's Taika Waititi's Batman.
Probably, yeah. Dinosaur Island.
Dinosaur Island.
YTT's Batman. He could.
Why do you think
could
we get
play
66 Batman?
He
Think
could do
about
that. He could. Oh, that'd be. He actually kill that. And Lego Batman too. I was thinking
Yeah. It'd be
know.
the same type of thing.
zany. Yeah.
Get
That's
Will
his
Arnett to
deal.
do it in live action.
YTT, man. I was talking with my friends the other day. There's something just inherently funny about the New Zealand accent. Just Korg saying, "Hey, man," like even that's just something about that's
Oh, yeah.
funny. Anyway, super tangent. Going back.
Okay, so here's a callback. Andrew will get this. At one point, Batman says, "You're losing your cool," and Freeze says, "I think not. There'll be no hot time in this old town tonight."
Yep. Call
So
back.
Goldsman tried this out with Riddler because Riddler had a line with like, "Oh, there'll be a hot time in the old town tonight," and then he was like, "Who said that?" Somebody said that. That was a line in Batman Forever. So Goldsman keeps trying to make this happen, and it didn't happen. Where he was trying to carry over Joker saying that, and Joker said it in Batman '89. Catwoman said it in Batman Returns. He was trying to make it a recurring thing in Batman Forever, Batman and Robin.
It's so wild to me. It's
but
just
it didn't happen.
they're cutting out the exact lines that connect to the other. It's like
Yeah.
movies don't connect to each other. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And that was Old Town was like the red light district, like where the prostitutes were, and Catwoman was.
I don't know about
I think
that.
you're thinking too hard about this. It's just based off of the song
They're just
title.
they're just calling Gotham an old town.
Yeah.
Wasn't there? Where did Catwoman?
Well,
come up
that's
at?
from the year one origin of her, where she was a sex worker.
Right.
Yeah.
That place wasn't called Old Town. You know what I'm thinking of? Sin City.
Probably, yeah.
You're mixing them up,
Great
man.
Okay, so Batman's final speech. This is the last thing. Batman's final speech to Mr. Freeze has one interesting tidbit in it because the whole thing was about vengeance isn't true power, taking life isn't true power, like saving life is true power. When he's talking about vengeance isn't power, he says any 2-bit thug with a gun can take a life. So he's referencing the deaths of his parents.
But all heroes don't wear masks. Right?
He says that a lot
yes,
earlier,
yes,
but
dude, yes. You're right, yes.
And then he punches the guy. And then he jumps out of there with no pants on. I just saw Batman's
And that's pretty much it when it comes to the script stuff. So as I said, like there's not a ton. It's just a bunch of deleted scenes. They kind of add more 66 references, and then some cool stuff like the adolescent Bruce flashback, and then the reference to the Bruce's parents
There's
stuff.
hardly any changes to Poison Ivy, huh?
Not really. I mean, there's that deleted scene.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, there's that deleted scene, but that's it. And then Mr. Freeze is pretty much like there's no real other character stuff in it that was cut, other than maybe if you count that scene with Alfred.
And
that
Bane
flashback
is still
scene.
wearing a monkey suit.
Okay, here's another thing. Bane doesn't have any lines in the script.
Oh, okay.
In the movie, he's like, Bane,
Dude.
bomb. Like,
and then Joel Schumacher's like, bring me more cocaine!
Bane is the most changed from source material because Schumacher obviously doesn't give a fuck about anything that's not in the 66 show. So he turns... Bane is a henchman for Poison Ivy. That's
that a
all
young
this is.
David Goyer addition to the script? An intern Goyer?
No, it's
Bane
just
into
Mr. Schumacher?
He wasn't like even around. I think it's just Schumacher not knowing what to do with Bane. Really,
Right.
I think he wanted to just put him in to be capitalizing on the fact that Nightfall come out a couple years before.
Oh, right.
that's it. That's the only reason, though.
It was really, but then it was just like, if you're going to bring in Bane, like, you can't rewrite this movie and bring Bane justice. There's no fucking room for him. You've got Batgirl, Poison Ivy, and Mr. Freeze. Some people forget Bane's even in the movie. Andrew forgot before we watched it.
Pretty much. I mean, I sort of remembered, but I was kind of surprised when he actually came on screen again.
Yeah, because it's like you were not thinking about it beforehand.
Yeah.
There was a novelization to this movie.
And
that
any
I read.
differences?
The only thing I remember, the problem is I can't reread it because this must have been my attitude at the time. It was not nearly as good as the Peter David one because I gave it away.
Okay.
I think I donated to the library or something, so it probably wasn't nearly
And
as
they've since
good.
took it out of print.
Probably, yeah.
So you can't find it.
It's a Batman and Robin novelization. Why would they keep printing that?
Yeah. It was by Michael Jan Freeman, who does a lot of the Star Trek books. But he had two interesting prologues. One was actually about Alfred post the Wayne's death, where he's actually talking about a therapist about what's to be done with young Bruce. I remember that
All
scene.
right, that's a very interesting addition.
And I remember another chapter
My
where...
professional diagnosis is that you should put him in a bat costume and make him a superhero. Thank you for the money.
This will save his delicate psyche.
Yeah.
It's a
He's
young
already
Bruce
fucked up, so you might as well. I don't know.
You might as well make him more
20, 40, 60.
It's like that
80.
Dexter show, but with a bat.
Yeah. Just try and channel it in a useful kind of
What's
quirky
Dexter?
kind of way.
Okay, and then the other chapter was more interesting. It was a teenage Bruce Wayne at the Olympics, and he meets Victor Freeze, who's an athlete there. Because remember, they say that he's a decathlon guy.
Oh,
in it.
okay. I was thinking pole vaulting for some reason.
Maybe. I forget what it was.
I don't know why.
I honestly forgot what it was and what their conversation was about, unfortunately. I wish I could go back just to reread it and share what it is, but...
Is
I
Freeze American?
In the canon?
Yeah.
I think he is in the canon, but in the 60s show and in this movie, obviously, he's like Eastern... He's obviously got the Eastern European accent.
He was in
Okay.
the 60s show, Mr. Freeze?
Yeah. He was played by
No
three different
Nora.
actors, yeah.
Nora was added by fucking Deanie in the animated show.
Really?
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
was just a crazy cold guy.
Yeah. What a crazy addition, right?
Yep.
Like
But
Like
it worked.
the entire crux of his, like, what is it, pathos? Ethos?
his
His
talk,
pathos, yeah.
talk about really unlocking a character's potential.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is that a segue?
Segue into...
Holy shit!
Into SuperHouse Podcast, brought to you by Segway.
That's not what we're talking about, bro.
So the bat segue should have been in the movie. No,
If you've
what
gotten
we
this
have-
far, you've probably listened to our Retro Co. advertisement that we have in every one of our
Johnson's ball sack.
Johnson's ball sack.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit!
Okay, so if you've been listening to this podcast the last couple of times for Batman and Robin, we've talked about how Poison Ivy, I didn't really have any emotional connection to her the same way that we have with like Mr. Freeze, or like what does she represent to Batman?
What?
does she
Yeah.
say?
What does she mean to Batman?
Yeah.
What's her deal? Like, how can she be written to be better? Like, Ben's been reading Batman his whole life, and was like just recently you feel like you figured out how to
because I
unlock her potential.
I never really gave her much thought until we got to this movie, and I was just like, why do I not really like Poison Ivy? Like, if there's a comic that's available and it's like it's a Poison Ivy story, like I'm just like, all right, maybe if people say it's good, I'll read it, but it's not my first instinct to read it, as opposed to like it's Ra's al Ghul, it's Joker, it's Scarecrow, like any of the others. I'm just like, okay, let's see what happens. And this one, I'm just like, whatever.
It's like lust. It's like the biggest thing.
Yeah, but I just don't think that's interesting.
And growth is like rampant fornication. Like plants are like fucking all the time. And she's like embodies the essence of
fucking plants?
Fornication and pain of nature. We see nature as being like blissful and bountiful, but really it's just rampant fornication. I don't know. I got that from a Werner Herzog.
Are we anywhere
You
close?
should do it in the Werner Herzog. You should do it in the Werner Herzog voice.
I don't see
Another German guy.
bountiful and beautiful nature. I see
Oh, this is good. Nature.
before me. I see rampant fornication and pain.
This is good.
If you hear a bird singing, it's not singing because it's happy. It's singing because it's suffering.
That's it.
That's
Dude,
the best I got for you.
Yeah.
Werner Herzog as Mr. Freeze saying that.
Honestly, it's not the worst choice in the world.
yeah,
I
man.
to see. It's too close to Arnold.
Don't have him do the puns.
You're gonna have a fucking embolism.
He has
trying
a
to
sense of
match
humor
those
for
two.
sure. His Grizzly Man commentary, man, he's just like,
Yeah,
he's
you
talking
must-
about this guy. He's like a hippie. He's like, he thinks that nature is nothing but beauty, but I see it as just cold brutality.
You're right. He says that shit years ago in My Best Fiend. He's talking about Klaus Kinski thinks it's some beautiful thing. It's not. It's not beautiful at all. It's just pain.
I agree with Mr. Herzog.
Nice to meet you, Batman.
Batman, Air Batman. All right, Dan. Our segue was to this Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy.
talk.
Okay, let's talk about Poison Ivy. So I looked back at the first, because a lot of times you got to look back at the first appearance. I looked at the first appearance of Poison Ivy, and there's nothing really about her controlling plants, about her wanting to be plants above humanity. It's not
the
in there.
Plants Above Humanity thing, to me, I don't know for sure, but it felt so
She's a
added
dendrophile.
into the movie.
It's not just in the movie. I think it's just it became a thing later on. It's just like, oh, she's
Okay.
really into plants. Let's just make her all about plants and like she loves plants more than people. And I'm just like, that's where you lose me.
She couldn't even control plants.
She couldn't even control plants. She was literally just in the costume, and she just wanted to be a crime boss and everything. But what she was addressing was not just any crime boss. She wanted to be the biggest female crime boss.
This
And
is
there
actually
was-
cool. This is better
Yeah,
this way.
but it was also it was
She's,
from the
like,
case of
fucking poisoning penguin and shit. Like
there was no poison either. Like I mean,
Okay.
she kissed Batman at one point, but it's like it said it's like chlorophyll and like it was like to hypnotize him, but there's no poison kiss either.
Okay.
So there's a lot of differences, but the main thing is that I know I've said like the whole environmentalism thing is like her being Greenpeace or environmentalism gone wrong. There's an element of this where it's not that. There's an
Okay.
element of this where it's not environmentalism. It's an element of it's feminism gone wrong.
Is that part of the original deal though?
Kind of, it's her hating all men except for Batman or Bruce Wayne.
She actually likes them.
She liked them until like at the end of the story, she obviously doesn't like Batman anymore. But I'm like, there's a kernel in there where I'm just like, there's something interesting about this and relevant here. And so, all right, kill me now. But we're gonna go into something that could be potentially touchy. But
Oh, I'm ready.
yeah,
Get touched.
feminism when it started out, and of course, the best person to talk about it is a dude. But
First wave feminism, we know all about it.
yeah, was about obviously equal right. I mean, I don't have to explain it for the people who know, but like from my understanding of it, it is like it was for equal rights. Women should be equal to men, voting, equal wages, everything like that. It evolves though, and you can see semblances of it today. But there's the danger of it evolving from equal rights into man hating.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So I feel like Poison Ivy in a way can be a representation of that, where it's not necessarily about man hating. The story then is about prejudice,
Okay.
but specifically the prejudice towards people who have victimized you and you want to get back at them. Does that sounds anywhere familiar? It's because Batman is prejudiced towards criminals because criminals victimized him.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, 'cause we
That's
talked
a
about
big-
this
that's
where-
a big deal.
I showed you like the original first comic where Batman punches Alfred Stryker, the first villain, and the guy falls into the acid, and he's just like, a fitting end for his kind, and you're like, his kind? Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, his main thing in the comics is criminals are superstitious and cowardly lot.
Yeah.
Like, that shows, like, that's like a huge, like, that's something that a prejudiced person would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So he's prejudiced against criminals just like Poison Ivy is prejudiced against rich white men
you unlocked it. This is
it. So
this is totally it.
It is a case where she has been victimized and overlooked. She's probably been abused by her boss, who commonly is the Floronic Man, Jason Woodrue.
Okay.
And everything like that. And so she wants to go up against those type of men who are seen as powerful, who overlook women and victimize women. And who would she hate more than a billionaire playboy who like runs through all the like Playboy models?
Cool.
He out there clapping them cheeks. Clapping cheeks.
She hates lines like that.
Yeah. So the plans are just the tools.
Sorry, Miss Ivy.
Are her means to an end.
The means to an end, the poison kiss and everything like that. She will try to seduce them in order to kill them because that's her way of righting wrongs. That's her way of saying like, okay, I've been victimized by someone like you. You don't deserve to live, type of thing.
I could also see, now that you're talking about, you probably already thought about this as well, but like plants are inherently feminine to her, and then animals are inherently masculine to her. You know what I'm saying?
It could be a case of that, but it's also the plants can be a symbol of the abuse that she suffered. Because remember, Woodrue in a lot of the versions, and the movie stays true to this, Woodrue is responsible kind of for her plant powers in a way, and for turning her into this sort of freak of nature. So it's kind of her being scarred by that abuse and then using that to take power, just like Batman is scarred by his trauma and uses the fear that he felt that night towards the criminal element.
The only thing is about this whole deal is, I mean, I like it a lot, but I just feel like there's always going to be that backlash from the dumbass neckbeard fans that are going to be like, yeah, we should have traditional wives. They'll just read it the wrong way, I feel like,
In terms of
feminism,
Poison Ivy,
feminism definitely is wrong. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, they will, but I mean, you have to be very careful with the storytelling in terms of like this is a story about prejudice and the fact that like Batman changes from this because he experiencing fighting with her shows like, okay, he has to check his own prejudice towards criminals.
I love that. I think that is great. I'm kind of playing devil's advocate right now.
I know. I'm not saying there's not going to be a backlash. In fact, like especially when you're dealing with gender politics and everything like that, there's certainly going to be that element.
It's got to read like. Are you trying to say it's going to read like anything that's good can be taken too far?
Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Where it's just like he understands why she's going for that. He understands that because he's done that himself. But he knows that she's going too far, and instead of making it about her seeking justice for Woodrue, it's about her hating everybody who seems in her mind to resemble Woodrue in any way, shape, or form, even when it's not the same situation. And that's where it goes from wanting justice to just flat-out cruelty and becoming the abuser and thinking that you're justified in becoming the abuser.
Okay.
Interesting.
So that's how I see it in terms of how to revamp Poison Ivy. And again, like she can target Bruce Wayne and everything, and Bruce Wayne, maybe there's a little bit of an element of Bruce Wayne like kind of checking himself in terms of like, okay, am I actually this type of person? The way that I treat people as Batman, or even just treat the people I date, because I mainly just use them in order to have excuses and alibis
to hold up an image.
Yeah, to hold up an image.
Women to hold up an image, basically.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and that's definitely like a bad side to Bruce Wayne, man.
Right, but then it's
interesting character dynamic to explore.
Yeah, but then it's also like maybe this is the evolution from the, because like I always thought in the Dark Knight trilogy, Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne starts off as like this douchebag who like he sleeps with all these models and everything, but he never really gets redeemed in the public eye. But I always thought maybe there was going to be a version where he goes from that into the more philanthropist businessman Bruce Wayne that we see in the animated series or Batman Forever or even Batman and Robin.
A character arc for Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, a character arc from that, and maybe there's some element of that here too, where because there's always those.
That'd be cool.
I hate those arguments, but of like some people are just like, Batman's just a rich white boy bully who beats on like the poor people.
I don't want to say bully, dude.
Beats
like,
on Puerto Rican.
He wants the poor
ideas
guy. I'm
that
just
these
like
are criminals, man. I mean, like, more than likely super criminals and henchmen and fucking, and also he's not killing them.
Yeah.
You
No, I
know
mean,
what
it's
I
like
mean?
he's going after people who hurt other people. He's not just going over people who's like, you're poor, therefore I will beat you. Like, that's what makes it sound like. I'm just like, you haven't read a fucking thing in your life.
Yes, poverty does cause crime. I all know that.
But also,
You know,
I mean,
we
there's
can
a
talk about that, you know what I
there's
mean?
a
Like-
stupid ass tweet where it's just like, hey, like if Bruce Wayne paid more taxes or whatever, like he would stop all crime and do more good than Batman. I'm just like, yeah, throw tax money at the fucking Joker. See how that's gonna save your life.
Yeah.
That's true. And
He'll
also,
just burn
it's
it.
like you got to allow for some things in this type of storytelling because you got a guy in a fucking bat suit
Fake.
going around.
There are certain elements where I realize this is ironic to say, given the fact that I was bringing some sense of gender politics into the Poison Ivy thing, but I'll just say it anyway. Just keep your fucking politics out of my Batman.
Well, I mean,
I fully acknowledge the contradiction, but I'm bringing this up because it's just like maybe this is what causes him to be like, hey, maybe I do need to look out for the guys who feel like they're forced into this.
it's a Grant Morrison thing where it's just like you got the fans that are, some fans are like, who pumps a Batmobile's tires? No one does, you fucking idiot. That's not important to the story ever.
His
Like,
name is...
Harold.
people will say Alfred, but it's like, dude,
Yeah, probably Alfred.
you're worried about all this minutia over here. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
The problem is you become an adult, you still like these stories, but you're over analyzing them to where it's not even fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just don't worry about
You
it,
need
man.
the Batman story that's going to help you figure out what to do about your mortgage. You're like,
Does
"God damn it."
Mask of the Phantasm need to have a scene of somebody fucking pumping the Batman's tires for that movie to be good? Do any of the good Batman stories need that?
No.
You just need
'Cause
the
then it'd
parts that are
be-
good. That's it.
A Schumacher piece. It's almost done, Bats.
I could see like a Plastic Man or some sort of like
we
comedy.
need a patch kit.
Booster Gold or some sort of comedy thing, like kind of like talking about
Yeah.
that. But
That's what I would say is keep comedy out of my Batman.
well, he's
That
kind of the
sucks.
opposite of That's why the Joker works.
That's why
for
the
him.
Joker works. Yeah.
He's the only one who should be telling jokes.
Yeah. I mean, you could also make up for it with the whole like you don't have to have her be the only female who's gone through this in the storyline either. You can have like another character. You can have a Catwoman or a Vicky Vale type or something who is like representing the other side, the more balanced side, and things like that. Who helps Batman up against Poison Ivy and everything, so that feels more equaled out and isn't just like, oh, like man versus woman and woman's wrong and see like feminism is wrong. Like I get that that's probably going to be the wrong conclusion. But you have to balance it out, and it comes down to being very careful with how you go about that. So it can lead into some controversial shit, but I'm just like, I'd rather have controversy than just me being bored by Poison Ivy, because that's what I am with most of the stories.
Who do you think is the hottest Batman takedown?
Hottest Batman takedown?
What do you
Yeah.
mean by that?
Takedown like soiree, like rendezvous. Who's his hottest?
A girl he's dated?
Dated is a word, I suppose.
Girl he's been with?
Yeah.
In the movies or
In
what?
knocks boots, just like out of everything. Who's your favorite Batman?
I'd go with movies, because like the problem is like the comics, they're like all drawn in different ways that I'm just like that's really tough, because they're all drawn hot in the comics, but then if the movies, they're brought to life.
Right. God, Pfeiffer probably. Yeah, maybe Pfeiffer.
I would go movies, yeah.
I still like 90s and
Vicky
Nicole Kidman.
Vale.
Cole Kidman's up there. Yeah, that's tough. That is tough.
Basinger?
Basinger, yeah.
That's mine.
Basinger? Okay.
Hottest Batman takedown. That's
Takedown.
sexist, isn't it?
Let's go with date. Let's make it easy. Make it easier to. Let's make it a
Takedown's
little
funnier.
bit better for women to listen to.
Sorry, ladies.
Barely made it online.
Men can be taken down too.
So that's my take on Poison Ivy. So I think we've revamped a whole bunch of villains. We've revamped Riddler to make it about ego,
Yes.
and jealousy and envy and everything like that. I did kind of do a revamp on Scarecrow when we're doing the casting stuff, and then this one is going to be about prejudice and everything. So it's like we're making a lot of like mini arcs for Batman.
It's a very good modern take too, and man, that would be really great for maybe Gail Simone to write in the comics or something, or Ben, you submit some sort of fucking line or whatever to Jeff Johns people, whoever
Maybe
the fuck
Jeff
you're
Johns
talking
listens
to.
this. Yeah. Please listen to our podcast.
We had a connection to Jeff Johns at one point. Anyway, that's another story. Sort of blew that one. Anyway, all right. Thanks for listening to the SuperHouse Podcast. I'm pretty sure he's not listening, but anyway, Thanks again. Also, it's been a while, but thank you, Shasta, as always, for the Patreon patronage.
Thanks, Shasta.
Patronage. So go to patreon.com/SuperHousePodcast to give us $1. That's the only tier we have currently. If you want to, please give us some money.
See, 4 million of you each give us $1.
We can quit our jobs and do this full time.
Do the math. We'll bring you hot, new, beautiful Superhouse content every day. If you give us $4 million, we'll make it every 5 minutes.
Exactly. Constant
New
stream
content.
all the time.
Content.
And then Superhouse is on all the social media and all the podcasts, wherever you listen to them. You'll find us. I am Thunderwolf Drew on Instagram and Twitter, and
I'm Ben Juan Ryder on Instagram.
I'm Wolfie.
And that's it. Andrew signing off.
Ben signing off.
Adios, muchachos.